House of Representatives. We're going to start with the United States House. Again, gentlemen.
Hey guys, sorry, I slacked on my job. Sandra Meadows from the Eden Chamber. I just want to thank you guys for being here tonight, and I'm sorry I'm delayed. I was eating cheesecake.
Thank you. No, you're good. We're going to start with the candidates for the United States House. You're each going to have an opportunity to introduce yourself. Got a couple of questions for you, and then you'll have a chance for closing remarks. Again, we're going to follow the same pattern we've done, where you'll have 2 minutes for each opportunity to speak, and we'll hold up a sign when you're halfway through, and then when we hold up the red card and you hear the buzzer, please complete your sentence, and we'll move on to the next question. To introduce yourself, Mr. Castelli, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, everybody.
Pull the microphones up close to you so we make sure that folks in the back can hear. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules to join us at this forum. My name is Christian Castelli. I am a retired career Army officer, Lieutenant Colonel from Special Forces at Fort Bragg. I spent 24 years stationed at Fort Bragg and have retired in 2012 and started 2 small businesses. I served as a veterans advocate for many years, helping our wounded veterans with their VA claims. I have a bachelor's degree in government, a master's degree in public administration from Harvard. Please don't hold that against me. It's a hard place to be a conservative, but I managed to hold my own. Throughout my career, I did 14 tours in hostile fire zones, and that includes 6 tours in combat, 5 tours in Afghanistan, 1 tour in Somalia. And I watched a lot of good men and women give their last full measure of devotion for our country. I swore an oath over 30 years ago to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I spent over 2 decades fighting foreign enemies, and now it's time to turn my attention to the domestic ones who are trying to destroy our country through failed policies and a radical agenda inconsistent with our values and founding principles. But above all else, I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, and a father of 3. I'm married to my wonderful wife of 20 years, who is a 20-year Air Force veteran also, and is also a charter school system superintendent in Randolph County. And I'm the father to 3 wonderful children, one of whom happens to be special needs. And I know many of you have met her. She's infectious, and she is the light of my life. I am proud and humbled to be your Republican nominee for the 6th Congressional District of North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Watercott.
Hello. First, thank you for your service,
Thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel. I, too, am a veteran, just a lowly old corporal, but everybody serves in their own way. I started out just as a regular working man. I've been in just about every sector of most industries on every level. I've owned 3 different businesses during my lifetime. I'm just basically another working man. Right now I'm currently a truck driver, and I'm going basically to represent the working person. I belong to the Libertarian Party. We're the party of fiscal responsibility and social responsiveness. That means we don't go and spend money on social issues, but we go out and actually attack them at the roots through volunteerism, through charity, through crowdfunding, and find ways to keep the government out of people's lives. And that's what I'm going to do, is just go up there, tell them, leave us all alone, get their hands out of our pockets. I don't know if there's anything much more to say about myself other than, I just finally felt the need to stand up just because nobody else was. So thank you for your time, and I'll keep it short at that.
Great, thank you. We're going to direct the first question to you, Mr. Watercott. You both have mentioned small business. Small business is an entrepreneurship is the driving force for economic development and job creation. What are your top 3 priorities for small business if you are elected?
First off, I would like to see us get rid of the income tax on, or all taxes on investment and income, and replace them with what's called the fair tax. Anybody that's interested can look it up at fairtax.org. It's a national use tax or a national consumption tax. We do get some pushback on it because people say it's a regressive tax without looking at it. There's actually, we untax you up to the poverty level of spending, so you get what's called a prebate that gives you back what you'd spend in taxes up to the poverty level of spending, and that goes to every American. I also want to get us looking at regulatory responsibility by Congress. Congress has basically abdicated their duty of lawmaking by creating these various regulatory agencies and saying to them, hey, here, you deal with this problem so I don't have to deal with it and I don't have to take responsibility for it. I'm proposing a Regulatory Oversight and Review Act, and you can read a little bit about it on my campaign page, to help relieve some of the regulations that affect small business and make it hard for us to do business.
Thank you. Mr. Cassell, I'm going to ask you the same question. Small businesses and entrepreneurship are the driving force for economic development and job creation. What are your top 3 priorities for small business if you get elected?
Well, I think we need to bring stability to our economy, and one of the ways we can do that is by promoting pro-growth strategies such as deregulation. We are entirely overregulated, especially in this current administration. It's destroying small business all the way up to big business like our energy sector. One of the other things that we need to do is expand manufacturing, bring manufacturing back to the United States, and we can do that with small businesses. You don't have to bring major manufacturing back here. It can start right here. Small Business Saturdays, local and small business initiatives. Another thing that they talked about earlier in one of the panels earlier was the VOTEC stuff, bringing VOTEC. I know that's important to Rockingham County. We would like to, as potentially your representative in the future, try and bring the resources back here, similar to down a little bit further south in Rockingham County, where they're bringing VOTEC initiatives that are going to feed the mega site, the Toyota mega site. And so it would be nice to bring similar programs like that to support small business here in Rockingham, further north in the congressional district.
Thank you. We're going to stay with you for this next question. How would you protect Social Security for today's seniors and strengthen it for future generations?
Yeah. So my opponents have attacked me. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's sort of a national attack ad. Every Republican congressional candidate across the nation is being accused of wanting to dismantle Social Security benefits as well as pre-existing conditions as it relates to Medicare rather. That is absolutely false. Every candidate is not doing that. It's a complete lie from being perpetrated by the left. I would advance or advocate for us to shore up the Social Security system by cutting spending in other areas. And the first thing I would do, and I've talked to Leader McCarthy about this, is let's ensure the stability of Social Security by cutting wasted or needless programs like 87,000 IRS agents.
Thank you. Mr. Wadicott, the same question for you. How would you protect Social Security for today's seniors and strengthen it for future generations?
Actually, part of HR 25, which is the fair tax proposal, shifts Social Security from being funded through a trust fund to the general fund. It makes it an actual required line item in the general fund of the budget, so that we end up having to pay it regardless. Basically, that's pretty much what I want to do, is shift it to the general fund and make it just like our armed forces budget, just like our budget for education, just like any of the other budget items, that it would be a part of the general budget and be a required budgetary item.
Thank you. Give you each an opportunity for a closing remark. Mr. Watercott, we'll start with you.
First off, I want to thank everybody for coming, and I apologize. I showed up here just like 5 minutes ago. I literally got up at 3 o'clock this morning so I could start work at 4 instead of my usual 6 a.m. So I can get off at 6 and get cleaned up and get up here to come meet you all. I'm a truck driver, so obviously I got to do what my boss dispatches me to do. But as you can see me regularly putting in 14-hour days here, that's the type of day I'm going to be putting in for you as a representative. I'm not going to be just sitting there collecting a salary. I plan on working every hour I can work to solve problems for my constituency. In other words, you call up my office. If we can help you, we will find a way to help you. I also plan on doing as much research as needed to get rid of various regulations and laws that are no longer useful.
Thank you. Mr. Castelli.
As a young airborne ranger infantry officer, I was taught a 3-word mantra: proactive, dynamic leadership. As a Green Beret, I was taught another 3 words. It was leadership, decision-making, problem-solving. And the common denominator between the two is leadership. And that's exactly what I hope to bring to Congress. Humbled, servant leadership that works on America's most pressing problems. And if you haven't noticed, there's no shortage of problems. My platform moving forward into the general election is based on 5 pillars: the economy, energy independence, education, immigration, and public safety. Those 5 issues transcend every American, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, socioeconomic class, or party affiliation. We're all dealing with 8.5% inflation. We're all dealing with $5 gas. We're all dealing with the fentanyl crisis at our southern border. We're all dealing with increased crime rates across the country. We've got to put a stop to it all, and it starts with some proactive, dynamic leadership in Congress, and that's what I endeavor to provide. My name is Christian Castelli. I was honored to serve you for over 20 years as a Green Beret in the United States Army. I would be honored to have your vote and the opportunity to serve you again as your congressman.
Thank you, and let's have a round of applause for our candidates.